Good morning, students. How are you? I hope you are fine and studying well and using the lockdown period. Okay, so here we will read the chapter 2, that is the biological classification. I've already told you the definition of the biological classification in the previous chapter. It means to classify the organism into the various categories or taxa on the basis of certain characters. Okay, now we'll talk about the who was the first person who tried to classify the organism more scientifically. That was the Aristotle. Aristotle first tried to classify the organism more scientifically, but he classified the organism into the two kingdoms. One is the plant kingdom and second one is the animal kingdom. Those that having the character of plants, it means having the green pigments or green in color, they classify it into the plant kingdom, and those don't have the colored body, green pigments, like the character of animals that we have studied in previous chapter. They classified it into the animal kingdom. And in plant kingdom, they also divide the whole plant kingdom into the whole plants into the three categories. One is the herb, all herbial plants that are certain. He categorizes it into the herbs. The second one is the trees. These are the long plants. And the third category is the shrub. That is neither the herb. This is the taller than the herb, but shorter than the trees. So he classify whole the plant kingdom into the three. That is the herb, shrub, and tree. Now, the plant kingdom, it was divided on the basis of color of blood. That is two type: animus and unanimous. Animus having the red blood organisms, red blood animals, and unanimous means having the non-red blood animals. Is it clear? Later on, the student of Aristotle tried to classify the organism. He categorized the plant kingdom into the three: herb, shrub, undershrub, and trees. Then the Linnaeus tried to classify the organism on the basis of scientifically by using the nomenclature. So all Linnaeus, Theophrastus, and Aristotle proposed the two kingdom classification system. Now, there are the different kinds of the classification systems are later on derived by the proposed by the different kinds of the scientists, like the Copeland, and also he proposed the three kingdom classification system. And not only the three kingdom classification system, but also some of the scientists provide the four kingdom classification system. So, like this two kingdom classification system, three kingdom classification system, five kingdom classification system. So there are the various types of the classification systems are present that are proposed by the different scientists. So here the five kingdom classification system we will study in the whole. Before study the five kingdom classification system, we should know why the two kingdom classification system must fail. Because in the two kingdom classification system, it was not identified whether the organism is unicellular or multicellular, prokaryotic or eukaryotic, or the photosynthetic or the non-photosynthetic. As we will study in the five kingdom classification, there is the, we will talk about the bacteria and protozoans, both having the single cell. But if we will talk about the protozoans, they have a well-defined nucleus, but in bacteria there is a lack of nucleus. Even both are unicellular. But in unicellular, there is the difference between them is the presence of nucleus and the other cell organelles. Is it clear? If we talk about the fungi, all those scientists included the fungi into the plant, but they don't have the chlorophyll. Is it clear? So by this means there is a need to classify the organism more scientifically with the different characters, on the basis of different characters. So by this means Ernest Haeckel tried to classify the organism into the three kingdom. So Haeckel was the given the three kingdom classification system, and same the Copeland, he gave the four kingdom classification system. But here in this session, according to our syllabus NCERT, we will have to study the five kingdom classification system that was proposed by the R.H. Whittaker. And he proposed the five kingdom classification system in 1969. He classified whole the organism into the five kingdoms, that is on the basis of phylogenetic relationships, and also on the basis of certain characters like the cell structure, reproduction, mode of nutrition, phylogenetic relationships, body organization, and so on. So he classified the organism into the five kingdoms. One is the Monera, third is the fungi or Mycota, fourth is the Plantae, and fifth one is the Animalia. We will study each kingdom separately in this chapter. So here we can see there are the 6 columns. One column is the characters on which R.H. Whittaker classified the organism: cell type, cell wall, nuclear membrane presence or absent, body organization, mode of nutrition. The first column is the, second column is the Monera, third is the Protistan, fourth one is the fungi, fifth one is the Plantae, and sixth one is the Animalia. If we talk about the type of cell, it means is the cell is the kingdom having the prokaryotic or the eukaryotics. So Moneras having the lack of nucleus, so these are considered as the prokaryotic. Pro means primitive and karyon means nucleus. It means lack of nucleus, and the genetic material was created in the cytoplasm. Is it clear? But all the organisms who have the genetic material enclosed in the nucleus are called the eukaryotes. So, except the Monera, all are the eukaryotes. So, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia all are having the eukaryote cell. The second one is the cell wall, by which the cell wall is formed. In Moneras, the cell wall is the non-cellulosic. It means it is not made up of the cellulose. It is formed by the polysaccharide and amino acids, means the proteins. But we will talk about the Protista. In few of the Protistan, the presence of cell wall, but most of them lack of the cell wall. Fungi, they have the presence of cell wall, but it is the made up of the polysaccharide chitin. The third is the Plantae. The cell wall is made up of the cellulose. And as we all know, animals will have lack of cell wall. They have only the presence of cell membrane. Now the third, nuclear membrane. As we have said, this is the main characteristic of the Moneras, lack of the nucleus. So nuclear membrane is absent in the Monera. And a part of the Monera, all animal kingdom having the nucleus present. We talk about the body organization. Monera and Protista both are the single cell organisms. Both are the single cell organisms. So the body organization is the cellular level. It means body is formed only by a single cell. But we will talk about the mycota or fungi. They are the multicellular, but not the tissue level. If we talk about the plant and animals, they are the organ level body organization. If we talk about the nutrition, Moneras, some of having the autotrophic, in which photosynthetic and chemosynthetic, while some of are the heterotrophic nutrition. It means they live as a parasite or the saprophytic. But if we talk about the Protistan, some of the autotrophic and some of the heterotrophic. Fungi, it has the fully lack of the chloroplast, green pigments, so it always be parasite. Sometimes it lives a symbiotic relationship with the different organisms, like the roots with algae, that we will discuss in the later. Plant, they all have the green pigments, so all are the autotrophs. Even some fulfill their nitrogen to engulf the insects, like the insecticide plants, but those are the autotrophic. Only they fulfill their nitrogen from the using of the insect. And all the animals are the heterotrophic in nature, mostly the holozoic, and some are the saprophytic. Later on, the scientist Carl Menz, he give the 3-domain concept. You can see here, Carl Menz, he give the 3-domain concept. He did nothing, only he divided the Moneras into the 2 domains. One is the Archaebacteria, second one is the eubacteria, and third one is the eukarya. It means he divided the moneras into the two kingdoms, two domains. One is the archaea, that is first formed bacteria. The second is the eubacteria, that is the later formed bacteria, and third one is the eukarya. It means having the nucleus. And in eukarya, they classified the protistan, fungi or mycota, plantae and animalia. Later on, the sixth kingdom classification was given by the Carl Woese. He classified he only modified the three domain concept into the kingdoms. Like the Archaebacteria is a separate kingdom, Eubacteria is a separate kingdom, and then Protista, fungi, plantae and animalia. Okay, now we will have to concentrate on the five kingdom classification, in which the first kingdom of the classification is the Monera. It is on the basis of phylogenetic relationships. It means it is on the evolutionary pattern. The organism who first formed, who came on the earth first, they are the Moneras. Then they evolved into the Protistan and fungi, then plantae, and from Protistan it is branch into the fungus, plantae and animalia. The kingdom Monera, the first main symptom character of the Monera, it means all this kingdom contains the bacteria. All this contains the bacteria, and mostly these bacteria are living in the extreme habitats. It means like the harass condition, like the saline water, on the heat zone, on the deep of the sea, inside the ice, in glaciers. So they found in the extreme harsh conditions, and their habitat is it means it presents the soil as well as in deserts, snow, deep oceans, and some of live in the other organisms as a parasite. We will see in the thermoacidophilus bacteria that lives in the extreme hot condition. Same few are present in the extreme saline condition. So here, on the basis of shape, bacteria are named by the four types, sorry. Coccus, its shape is the spherical. When it is in the round shape, it is the coccus. When it is in the comma shape, it is called the vibrio. When it is rod-like shaped, it is called the bacillus. And when it is spiral shaped, it is called the spiral. We can see here. Now, the classification of bacteria. As we have discussed, the whole bacteria is divided into the two. One is the Archaebacteria. These are first formed bacteria on the earth when the condition was harsh. The second one is the eukaryotic bacteria or eukarya or eubacteria. And further, eubacteria is divided into the three types. One is the on the basis of nutrition, photosynthetic, chemosynthetic, and also the heterotrophic bacteria. So first, the archaebacteria. Archae means primitive, and bacteria, it means it is the first form bacteria or the oldest bacteria that lives in the rest habitat, like the salty areas or salty water, called the halophils. 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 The bacteria who lives in the hot springs are called the thermoacidophils. Thermo means heat. And the bacteria that are present in the marshy areas, they are called the methanogens. And these bacteria have the different kinds of the cell wall. We can see here. This cell wall gives the bacteria a survival environment from the extreme climatic conditions. And as we have studied in the class 10th, biogas in the physics sources of energy, we use the cow dungs or animal dungs for production of the methane gas. So in the gut of the animals, there are different kinds of the methanogen bacteria are present that is helpful in the production of methane gas. The second kind of bacteria is the eubacteria. U means true. These bacteria have the rigid cell wall. These bacteria have the rigid cell wall, and this cell wall helps the bacteria to live in the harsh climatic conditions. What happened? Sometimes these bacteria have the flagella. Sometimes these bacteria have also the flagella. It means this flagella helps them to locomote. These flagella helps them to locomote. And on the basis of flagella, we can classify these bacteria into the monotrichous, lophotrichous, cephalotrophus, trichous, amphitrichous, and peritrichous. That is not the part of your lesson, but for knowledge point of view, you can know, you can see when the flagella is present on the tip of the bacteria, a single flagella is present on the tip of the bacteria, it is called the monotrichous. When the flagella is present at both end of the bacteria, it is called the lophotrichous. When on the head portion of the bacteria, the flagella is found in the form of bunches, it is called the cephalotrichous. When on the both end of the bacteria there are the flagella are present, it is called the amphitrichous. And when the flagella cover the whole body, it is called the peritrichous. Peri means peripheral. Okay. So on the basis of nutrition, bacteria are classified into the three categories. One is the photosynthetic, second one is the chemosynthetic, third one is the heterotrophic. the photosynthetic bacteria. It means it has the certain kind of pigment that helps to trap the light energy to produce the energy materials, especially the blue green algae. They have the certain kind of the pigments, that is the chlorophyll alpha. It is just like the chlorophyll A that is present in the plant cell. So such type of bacteria is called the cyanobacteria. These are mostly lived in the colonies. So these are the colonial, and all bacteria are unicellular. So these are the unicellular, colonial, and they have the flagella. So these are the flagellated. Some bacteria are present in the fresh water, some present in the marine water, and some are the on the land. So these are the terrestrial. The one important character is the colony of the bacteria is covered by a gelatinous sheath. Gelatin. Is it clear? The colony of the bacteria is covered by gelatinous sheath, and mostly it forms the blooms. You studied in the class 10th algal bloom. When the plant body is covered by the algae, it pollutes the water. It called the algal bloom. The few examples of the photosynthetic bacteria are the nostoc and Anabaena. Because they have the certain type of specialized cell, heterocyst, that helps in the fixation of the atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrate or nitrite or ammonia. In chapter we will study the mineral nutrition in the plants, how the atmospheric nitrogen converts into the nitrate, nitrite and ammonia by these bacteria. The second bacteria is the chemosynthetic bacteria. Chemo, it means from the chemicals. It is just opposite to the photo. It means it will oxidize the chemicals to liberate the gases like the nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. Actually, it converts the nitrogen, it converts the nitrate, nitrite or ammonia into the free nitrogen. So it also helps in the recycling of these atoms. The third bacteria that are classified on the basis of nutrition, that is the heterotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic are bacteria, those bacteria that lives on the host cell in form of parasites. They are mostly decomposers. Sometimes it causes disease in the animals and plants. There are different kinds of the bacterial disease. Like the tuberculosis, diarrhea, diphtheria, cholera, tetanus, pneumonia, HAZA. So there are different kinds of diseases that are caused by the bacteria. It not only spreads the diseases, it also helps the human being in the production of vinegar, in curd making, in also the baking industries. If we talk about the reproduction in bacteria, so mainly the bacteria reproduce by the fusion. Mainly bacteria reproduce by the fission. It means first the nucleus of because they have the lack of the nucleus, genetic material divides, then the division of the cytoplasm, then finally cell divides. Sometimes in the extreme harsh condition, climatic condition, they forms the spore. So by sporulation they can produce. And if we talk about the sexual reproduction, here the fusion of the DNA cause the sexual reproduction in the bacteria. There is the mycoplasma, it is called the PPLO. This is the smallest living cell known that have the no cell wall. And the most important thing, it can survive without oxygen. It means it can survive without oxygen and it have no cell wall. And this is the pathogenic in nature. It spread the disease in the plants and animals. So in first part of the video we have completed the classification given by the Aristotle, Theophrastus and Linnaeus. It was the 2 kingdom classification system. 3 kingdom classification system was given by the Haeckel. 4 kingdom classification was given by the Copeland. 5 kingdom given by the R.H. Whittaker in 1969. The cause of failure of the 2 kingdom classification, because it was unable to distinguish between the prokaryotic eukaryotic cell, unicellular multicellular cell, or the photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. So R.H. Whittaker initiated the evolutionary relationship, cell structure, mode of nutrition. On the basis of, he divided the whole organism into the 5 kingdoms, that is the Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Later on, Moneras are the first formed organism, then Protista, then fungus, then Plantae and then Animalia. And here further Karl Maynes divided these 5 kingdoms into the 3 domains: Archaebacteria, Eubacteria and Eukarya. Archaebacteria is the primitive form of bacteria, Eubacteria is the true bacteria, and Eukarya are the all eukaryotes like the Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Later on, Carl Woese divided all the 3 domains into the 6 kingdoms. Archaebacteria is the separate kingdom, Eubacteria are the separate kingdom, then Protista, then Fungi, then Plantae, then Animalia. Then the Moneras and their classification on the basis of these are mostly bacteria. On the basis of structure, these can be Vibrio, Coccus, and spiral, and later on the basis of conditions, they are Archaebacteria, Eubacteria. Eubacteria divided into the photosynthetic bacteria, chemosynthetic bacteria, and heterotrophic bacteria. Tomorrow we will study about the protista. Tomorrow we will study the protista. Thank you, class.